Right, hi guys, Adam here, and I just thought I'd do a bit of a review on my bike. I know when I was out scouring YouTube for video footage of this bike, the videos I found I was quite limited to, and I'll tell you why. I think I found two good actual viable reviews on this bike, and they were relatively short. Other videos I found on it were in a different language, obviously because maybe, I don't know, because it's a Honda of India bike, a lot of their videos will probably maybe coming over there. But the other videos I found were just idiots sitting in a garage, just revving the nuts off this bike for about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever. And I kind of want a bit more from a video than that. So hopefully I will do that for you. I do ramble on a little bit, but bear with me, and I'll try and tell you some knowledge about this bike. This bike is a 2012 model. I got it brand new from the dealership. It hasn't changed that much from the 2011 model at all. I'll tell you some of the features in a minute, but the 2011 model did 130 miles to the gallon. The 2012 model states that it does 150 miles to the gallon, which I think is a bit crazy. I've had this bike from brand new. I think I've already filled it up about 3 times, so I haven't quite noticed the 150 yet. But as the miles are clocking on, it definitely is getting better and better. I gotta say, that chrome just shines in the light, man. I think that's probably the nicest thing about it. Look at that, just wow, that's blinding. The sun's coming out. It's a good day. Okay, so this is the bike. I don't really know what, being a first video, I'll try and be a bit more show business for you, but really, you just want to know the ins and the outs. We'll start up here, I guess. This is pretty much riding position. This is what you'll see when you're sitting on it. It's a full-size bike, I'd like to add. A lot of bikes you see are scaled down or clip-on handlebars, something appalling. This is a full-size bike. And the wrong side about this bike, and the only thing wrong about it, is actually when you ride this bike, the way it handles and the way it feels, you actually seriously do feel like you're on something a lot bigger. Obviously, not size-wise, but engine-wise, you kind of feel like you're on, like, I don't know, like a 400 or something. It's a really nice feeling and riding bike. I'll maybe touch onto that on a different video. But this is, we'll start on our dials, I guess. You have a rev counter. A rev counter came out on the 2011 model. Obviously a fuel gauge, which is a damn right side luxury. You've got your neutral light there, indication, and your high beam, and your cock. And as you see, I filled up 3 times, and I'm at about 900 miles. I mean, that's insane. I think I'm at like half a tank now. I've done like 180 miles. So the miles on this bike, are absolutely crazy. No kill switch, but you get your starter over here. Obviously your throttle, front brake, your clutch, your high beams, your indication, and your horn. I don't know if you can see that. I think it's a bit too dark. But it's all there, and it's all really easy to get, and it's pretty much the same functions as you get on any other bike. Brakes. Let's talk about brakes. People always want to know about that. I know I did. Obviously, we have a pretty good, a pretty good disc brake actually for the front. It's a damn good brake. Obviously, riding a bike, people do love to cut out in front of you. Holler if you've ever had that. But this brake stopped me dead stop. And it's a terrific brake. Just thinking about how many times I've had to suddenly wham on this thing because people just pop out. And I've tried wearing, the high visible things. I even had lights on me, and people still come out of you. I think it's just something you got to live with, unfortunately. Also got a bit of a cheapo drum at the rear, just to try and keep the price down. I don't know if you can see that, it's a bit dark in there. But to be honest with you, it's a pretty good brake. The combo between the two works. It keeps the cost down of the bike, and they both do the job, really. I will touch on some of the complaints about this bike that people had. I know, well, as we're on this side, we'll start on this side. The chrome. Apparently after a couple of weeks, it goes rusty. Well, mine hasn't, and I think it is pretty much down to the way that you look after your bike. Another good thing is it is a down bike for the exhaust. A lot of people complain about that. You probably can't see it even that well because it's just it's just a black pipe, really. I can't really explain it any better than this. But even after a couple of weeks, it's apparently rusty, and I've ridden my bike in rain, heavy ass rain, and I've not noticed any rust at all. I have dried the bike, I will say, after a rain, and I think it's a good idea. It's an easy way to clean it as well, and just try and get all that extra water off so it's not sitting there. Really makes a difference. A lot of people say that the brake is weak. I cannot understand what they're saying. Really, I think the brake is absolutely strong. If you need to put your foot on there hard, hey, you might lock up your rear wheel, but that's not going to lay you down. I don't know why people complain about that. A lot of people complain about the rust issues. I don't know if that's might be an age thing. I haven't quite hit on that yet, but it's normally in here. But if you look after the bike and you keep it out of the rain as much as you can, you're probably not going to have that kind of problem. Another problem I knew about on the old ones was the gears. A lot of people complain that they had a false neutral. They did put it into neutral and it would just kick back into gear or something. I've never had that. That's a problem I've not ever had on this bike. I will say that the distance between first and second is quite big. So if you don't go all the way through, you will pop into neutral. I think that's happened to me once on a little roundabout. I was just a bit soft with it, and just kicked back into neutral. But that's all about the problems I've had on my gearbox, actually. So I don't know if that was a model thing and they've corrected it over the model years. But yeah, it's not a problem for me on this one. The bike comes with a scent stand, over here. I thought it was on one. And it also comes with a side stand, and that's standard. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So when you're doing some maintenance on the bike, you can pop on the set stand and you've got full access to the rear tyre. And while we're talking about tyres, get down here and you can see some tyre. Right. The tyre on this bike is a lot wider than what it has been on other bikes. I don't know entirely about the 2011, but the 2012, I think the bike tyre was about this. It was midget and tiny and small, and now it's a lot bigger, which I think is great because no one wants to ride around on something that's pretty much the same tyre, same size as your bike tyre. As one guy put it in a very old review, said it was his push bike tyre was wider than the tyre that it had on this bike. So a big difference to that now, and I think that's great. A lot of people want to know about storage on this bike. I'm just trying to run through some basic things for you. Storage on this bike is a joke, as it is on most bikes. This pops up here as a keyhole. Put your key in there, it pops up. Basically, you have your battery in here. You have a little toolkit that they give you, and a space about this big that you can probably put your handbook in, and that's about it. Top box, the stupid little nasty boxes that you put on the back, they go on this bike. I absolutely hate them, can't stand them, and so I wouldn't say get that. Tank bags, we'll go on the tank. Tank bags do fit on this bike very well, very well. I have no idea what that was. I apologise. It's a 13-litre tank, and they do sit on that very nicely. I tend to just use a rucksack if you're actually going to be using this bike for commuting, which is what I do. I go about 3.5 miles to work, 3.5 miles back. But I tend not to do that. I tend to go home the longer way, which I think is what you tend to do more on a bike. I tend to go the longer way home, and it doesn't matter how long I take to get home. I tend to enjoy the ride on this bike more because this bike is so easy and so beautiful to ride. For learners out there, this is 100% learner legal, And for people who are trying to get back on bikes, I know one guy, and actually know two guys, one's 50, yes, and one's 42, and after I got this bike, they then went out there and bought this bike, and they say they absolutely love it, and it's really helping them get back on the road. And it was pretty much what I sold them, the information of this bike. So hopefully I've sold this bike to you as well. Please, I do not work for like Honda or anything like this. I'm not trying to like get it out there. I'm just saying that this bike is a terrific bike. If you're trying to learn, you want to get back out on there, you can't go wrong with this bike. I'll do another video with it starting up and a bit of a ride test. Probably do that in the next video down. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.